Well, hello. Welcome to Pepazeka. My name's Andre, and how's it to all you absolutely fantastic, wonderful people out there? So good to see you all. Yes, it seems like a long time, but it's going to be even a longer one. But yeah, let's take a look. Fiona, our absolutely beautiful, precious lady in waiting, a great welcome to you. Buzzy, if it wasn't for Buzzy, I wouldn't get links up in time. Nick Miller, how's it going, my friend? It's always great to see you on there as well. Uh, Debbie, how are you keeping? Fantastic to see you. Always happy to see you. Uh, Hendo, our very most favorite European South African. How are you keeping, my friend? Where would I be without you in your caps? Nick, Dylan Combrunk, how are you keeping? Hey, always good. Uh, and yeah, that's it there. What's Hendo say? China letting out Andre from the Gulag today. It's yeah, it has been a bit of a long time. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Fiona's got visit Fiona's YouTube channel. Please don't forget, there it is. It's in the chat as well. And her Okavango diary has just been uploaded. Chapter 23. The doctor declares that I'm fit to resume work. Fantastic. Good doctor. Well done. So yeah, awesome people. How are you keeping? It is absolutely an honor and a privilege to be back with you again. Hendo says, knackered today. Yesterday was a bank public holiday. Saturday's never much of a public holiday. Oh well. Okay. Today's the day that I actually spill all the beans and get you out of all the secrecy that I have been saying I'll tell you about, and I will tell you about. So I don't know how it's going to go, but yeah, let's see. I can sort of start. I see Safa's celebrated Communist Workers' Day last week. We had 3 days off for that last weekend, though. We had Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday off for it. And just because we had 3 days off last week, we're now working this Saturday as well. That's coming along. So, wow. Oh, Monday as well. Jeez, like, bring on the UK. Bring on the UK. It's absolutely, I can do with Monday as well. But yeah, it's been a bit of a tread because fortunately over these last 3 days we've had, I don't know if you guys remember, Angelie used to live with us in Cambodia. She also works in China in a city called Wuxi, and she came down to visit us for 3 days as well, which was really so super nice. Ina and Angelie got to go out a little bit. I got to work a bit because I worked Wednesday all the way through Wednesday night till 5 o'clock, Thursday morning, slept a bit, worked Thursday night through till 5 o'clock, Friday morning, slept, worked a bit on Friday night. I eventually got to go out a bit, but it has been fairly hectic still. Thank you very much. But I have a long story to chat, and then I've got basically an option that I'd like to put and see what you guys think. So I'd like a little bit of interactivity on, and honesty as well as you go about it. I've had a bit of a long time session, and I've had a lot of pressure. I was taking a lot of punch, especially last semester at school, and I didn't find very much support as I was trying to get into things and that. And by the sort of towards mid-December last year, just before the December holidays or whatever, the week that we got off there was a certain member of management that hello, Linda van Rooyen, how are you keeping, me dearie? Always fantastic to see you too. And I was actually very sick that day, and it's almost impossible to get off. So I actually went home with I went to work with a fever and everything and the whole toots, and I was feeling really bad and overwhelmed, and I was struggling to actually get along and cope. And as I say, I just didn't feel I had the support. So then I was approached and asked, "Yeah, well, why am I negative in meetings and that?" And so you know what, I'm not really, and nobody else agreed with that either. But anyway, bottom line is, I decided to vent, and I was just completely honest, and I just let out everything, which resulted in meeting adjourned. But unfortunately, it resulted in a whole lot of emails being sent to an executive principal. Now, this person, I do believe, has a more than professional, I don't want to say a romantic relationship, but knows the person sort of more personally that knows the principal more personally than what is just on a work basis. Either that or they're a very good manipulator, because the very next Monday I was in the executive principal's office, and it's like, you can't carry on like this, you're not coping, you're not doing things. And I'm like, you know what, I'm trying, I'm just trying, I'm just not getting any support anywhere along the line. Well, everything's being done for you and all of this. And about 2 or 3 days before my holiday, December holiday, I was basically told, well, your probation will end in January. So you got two options. You either don't make your probation, you won't get any reference, you've got to pay a lot of your relocation and everything back, or you put in a resignation letter for the end of the semester, which was the end of Jan, end of Feb, and then everything will be fine, but then you will leave. So woe and behold, by the time December came along, before the December holidays, I had to hand in a letter to say resignation, because it's the better of two evils. As I say, although I work at a very, very good school as such, but it balanced basically, I would say, off one person. So I did. And so I had a terrible Christmas and New Year. And that's why I said to you guys, my New Year and my Christmas was absolutely, wrenchingly terrible. And I was looking for work at a mad pace, trying to find something to carry on with. Then I got back, and about 2 days after I got back, the deputy executive and the Chinese, I think, deputy principal then called me in. And I thought, oh, geez, what trouble am I in now? Because I kept on being called in for all kinds of trouble. But then they said, well, we don't seem to have given you enough time to find something. So what we'll do is we'll give you till the end of the school year. So, which is basically end of June, beginning July. And I have been working my arse loose. Everything's been going fine. I've been really, really well with department heads. Everything we've really went well. And I went back about 3 weeks ago, and the deputy executive principal, and I said, look, everything's fine. What seems to be the problem now? What, can I not just carry on? And then I was told, no, there doesn't seem to be enough classes to keep me on next year, which I don't know. It could be. I personally doubt it, but I think the one person who really wanted me out has kept that way, although they are as sweet as sugar at the moment. But so currently I am still overburdenedly loaded. I haven't told anyone really at school or anything like that, so no one really knows. But I have had to start looking for work all over the place in China at the same time, trying to push an interview here or there. And at the same time, I'm really, really horrified at moving into another nightmare as what I have approached at the moment. As I say, once again, very good school. Everything's taken care of. It's just never ending. And it's been, I've told you guys a couple of times already that it's it's really sort of killing me very, very quietly. I mean, as I said, Angeli came to visit. Angeli and Ina had to go out for the day. I had to stay home working. I worked through the night. They all went to sleep. I finished at 5 the next morning. Ina stayed on the couch. She slept on the couch the Thursday night. At 5 o'clock the next morning, I could wake up and say, let's go to sleep. And it absolutely, it's drained me totally. So basically what the bottom line is now, I will not have any work from basically July. After we finish off in July, I have to go. And that is why I brought up the question with you guys last week as well, saying to you, is fame and fortune, or fame and status, or money and status more important than being humble and happy? Because I very much want to go back to Cambodia. It's I think Ina's the one that sort of like keeps me a little bit more grounded and saying just hang in there over here, because I think we all experienced. I think even on the stream, everything was so much more and so much better when I was in Cambodia, and we just actually lived. I mean, I spoke to Ina today when we just walked to town quickly to get something, and as we were walking, I said, you know what the worst thing is? It's not like I'm somebody who does a lot of things, but we used to do some things sometimes. I mean, we used to be able to go and grab a coffee at Starbucks, or we would go to a movie, or we would go and walk around a mall, or we would go and look at something, or something to that effect every now and again, especially at weekends. And yeah, well, my last working day is the 4th of July, Deb. So you could probably say 2 months. Okay, but this, Hendo, this is why I'm telling you guys now, because it was all hanging in the air and I needed it to come together. I was seriously considering going back to Cambodia. The problem is I don't have the money really to go back to Cambodia as such, because it costs so much. If it was just Ina and I, it's a quick, cheap flight back over, and I'm sure we'll find something there. But unfortunately, it's not that easy. So yeah, the worst part that I've been experiencing currently is I have a thing about not doing a good job. I always need to do a good job. I need to get my job right. I need to get everything done. I need to get everything right. Even if I'm leaving, even if you've kicked me out, even if you've pushed me out, whatever, I'm still doing it. And I need to do the job right. And hence the reason I probably shouldn't keep myself under so much pressure. But because one person that knows just said to me one day, he said, you know what, if I was you, I'd just let everything go. He says, what does it matter? And I just said, you know what, I'm just not built that way. I'm sorry. I can't do that. I have a certain amount of integrity and pride, and I've got to do my best. Now, the worst thing for me is waking up in the morning and I actually feel sick. I used to be able to eat in the mornings, and now I can hardly put half a slice of toast down. I'm nauseous. I feel like my heart's got like a cage clenching around it. I feel like there's a ball of coal in my stomach. The worst thing is waking up every morning to go and give 150% to a place that doesn't want you. And I know I should just start letting go and go, you know what, I didn't say go, you said go, so now I'm going now. What do you want? I mean, the one place that I actually interviewed, actually said to me, he said, I know where you work. He says they want blood from a stone, but yeah. But there's another interview that I've got next week as well, but also a similar school, and the write-ups are bad about it as well. So I don't want to jump from the kettle into the frying pan. But why I'm telling you this now is because I did get an interview with another school in a city called Nanjing. It's a big city, and it is with a school. I'll tell you more about the school name and that later on, but it's just for plain English teaching, but there are no benefits. There's no housing allowance or assistance. There's nothing. There's no relocation. There is nothing at all. And the salary is quite considerably lower. I worked it out in rands. If you actually want to take a look at, now I'm counting housing allowance and everything in here. It's not a salary that I get flat out, but if I count my housing allowance and everything that I get in there, moving to this school would, in rands, drop me 28,000 rand. It's quite a hit that we'll take. However, Ina and I chatted about it, and we got an offer from them, and it's just a flat salary, nothing else. But it's just 17 classes a week. I'm working on close on 30 plus everything else that can get thrown at me at the moment, and that's what I teach. And everything seems to be a little bit more relaxed. So we looked at it and we said, we can get by. We can get by. Obviously, it's not going to be a beautiful apartment like we've got now, and we won't be able to be as frivolous as what we are now, etc., and probably not be able to save as much, although we should be able to save, and hopefully we've got Ina up and running maybe by the end of the month, by the end of the year, or even maybe sooner. And if she gets something, then we should be back and fine again. And all she needs is something small and easy as well. So that was our next option to Cambodia, is looking at this school. And I got an offer placed from the school last week, and I decided to accept the offer. So they sent me a contract. Could have signed for 2 years or 1 year. What we've decided is we'll sign for 1 year, see how it goes, and what's Debbie say? You need to set yourself free. As you're flogging yourself, only then can you truly be free. Look at after Ina and do what makes you happy. Yeah, Ina and I will cope. It's not like we're going to be hungry or starving or not be able to get through. It's just we probably won't be able to save as much as what we want to, but we'll get through a month. It's enough to be able to get through a month and live okay. It's not like we'll get to breadcrumbs at the end of the month. But yeah, can you do private tutoring on the side? I don't know, Fiona. I'd have to find out when I get there. But yeah, Debbie, you can't put a price on happiness. So I decided to only sign a 1 year contract with them to see how it goes, and maybe put some money aside. And if things don't go well or great or that fantastic, we could look at returning to Cambodia. But I don't know if we've given China the chance to actually be here, because it's literally been crushing. I mean, I have had 3 days off, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and Saturday and Sunday off. And this evening I am feeling absolutely ill. I mean, I'm just medicating consistently to keep calm and to try and control myself. And we've already got more work notices now. Don't forget, we've got to have this poetry competition in there, and then we've got to do presentations for this parent meeting coming in there, and the parents are coming to sit in the classes on this date over there and that. And it's just like, I've I'm truly sort of run down. And we chatted about it, and Ina's like convinced we should give it a year's chance in just something a little bit lighter. I could take a look and maybe do a PGCE, which is like a teaching certificate as well on top of it, which does help a lot more. Yeah, and then otherwise return to Cambodia in a year's time if it's really not that great. I mean, my friend in Cambodia is just sending me work from there all the time. And he's like, you know what, to just come through here, just do whatever you need to do, get through here, you'll find a job here and you can carry on with it. But our medical bills on things have skyrocketed. I'm having Zoom meetings with a doctor in South Africa because there's nothing really like that here in China. So it's costing me every time to have some kind of psychology meeting or psychologist meeting in South Africa, and then we need to change medication. I can't get medication that's there over here, and it's yeah. And the new school doesn't do INAs. There won't be medical. The INAs. INA's a visa, and that doesn't get done by them. We'll have to do that ourselves, but we can do so. But I don't have any parent interaction things that I've got to do there. I've got no project things that I've got to do there. I teach with a Chinese teacher, and the Chinese kids come, they do their English, and then they go, and that is done with it. I don't have tutor classes. I don't have extracurricular classes. I don't have 3 meetings a week. I don't have everything else dumped on me as such. So I'm feeling that, I don't know, in the long run, I must say that my wife is probably wise in the ways of saying, let's just hang in there. So yeah, we'll have to move. So we're saving up like mad, because I said to her right now, I said, if I could just give them a month's notice and walk now, I would. But then we would have to pay back a whole lot of money of relocations and flights to South Africa and all kinds of stuff. And we don't have enough money to even move. And we have to move ourselves and find an apartment there and do a relocate ourselves there. And that on its own, I think, I got a quote the other day, is about 3,500 RMB. I don't know what that is in rands. I can look up there quickly for you. Stupid phone needs to see my face. Now my face is too ugly for it, so I've got to put in a code. But I mean, if I look at 3,500 RMB, that's basically 9,000 rand just to make the move. It's a place that's called Nanjing. It's just about 270 to 300 k's away, and I have done a lot of praying about this, and I haven't got to speaking to many people about it because I didn't want to speak to many people about it. I don't want to make anything bad. I don't want to make the school bad, because everybody else at the school I get along with really, really well. Even my department head, and that, I mean, she's tried really hard to actually, because she knows about the situation, and she's tried really, really hard to keep me there as well, bless her soul. But it's just not materialized, and I do believe that one person that I actually have nothing to do with has just manipulated everything out. But maybe it's a godsend. What's Debbie say? Universe is letting you know it's time, and that's why I looked at it. Fiona, the other countries also cost me for my dogs to move, and that's what costs a lot of money at the moment. This one I can just, on top of the move, I've got to hire a car to take us so that we can take the dog. So it's going to cost me a lot of money already. So I can't walk out, and I can't give notice. I've never walked out of anything at all without giving notice. So I have 2 months to get through of blatant hell. I've had a nightmare of a year. What's it? Just don't eat the dogs. Have food, Andre, not a Mad Max episode. There's says in our saying, we're going to be okay. Just believe and trust. I don't know what I would do without my lovely wife. She has done an absolute phenomenal job about supporting, because I haven't had anyone to really talk to or to support me, and she has been extremely phenomenal about supporting me. What's Debbie saying? Nanjing, capital of China's eastern Jiangsu province, roughly 300 kilometers up Yangtze River. Yes. The city of Shanghai, it was national capital during the part of the Ming Dynasty, right up until 1949. That is correct. Debbie, my goodness me, I can learn from you. There's some beautiful places there that we hope to go and see and then show you, and then hopefully get back to what we were doing when we were in Cambodia. There's the porcelain tower. There's the wall, there's the old city and the gardens and everything, and hopefully we can get back to doing stuff again. But yeah, my rock and my fortress, special princess. Yeah. No, she's not a princess anymore. She's grown into a queen. No, I'm kidding. But so yeah, I'm still very, very unsure. Very, very. Debbie, Google. What's in that say? Debbie, stop writing Wikipedia. So yeah, no, we're taking a look. It's a big city. There's not 120 different bosses over there. So the hierarchy. When I spoke to the principal guy, there is a young chap, very, very nice, and he's so just calm. And when they gave me the contract, I looked at everything and I had 2 pages of questions, and I sent him 2 pages of questions, and I said, because I worked last Sunday as well, and I said, these are the questions I have, answer them when you can. And he replied to me on the Sunday. I was still coming back from work, and he said, this will be better replied to in a phone call. So I said, well, I'm getting back from work now. I'll be home in about half an hour on Sunday. You can, Tuesday, Monday's hectic, but Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. So he said, no, we can phone now. So Sunday at like 5:30, Sunday afternoon, he phoned and answered all my questions. And yeah, as I said, I probably can't expect more for what I'm doing. So it's not like I have... it's not like I have this huge responsibility. I've got to set up I'll be doing English for 3 and 4, but and I've got to set up a curriculum and that for it, which I can do, and I actually quite enjoy doing. But I just don't know about going to these like sort of big schools that need to be more of a show than a do. And I'd just like to do my job and carry on with it. And I think I would possibly get the opportunity there. So that's why I signed. One thing that is good going back now is I do at least know where I'm going. But I do still feel that absolute reject. I feel like an absolute reject at school. I feel that I can do nothing wrong. I mean, the school has basically destroyed every bit of confidence I have in myself, capability that I have in myself, which I used to do phenomenally. I mean, my wife keeps reminding me, you used to run regions, you used to run huge millions and millions of rands worth of operations and stores and things like that. You ran a school, you ran primary principal, you ran secondary principal, so much so that they gave you an award for your contribution as secondary principal. And now you come somewhere that is just, pardon my word for saying a better word, just pissed all over you. And so, you know what, I'm just like so worried everything is just going to go south or north. So I'm still trying, but I have a hard time. So yeah, so hopefully we're going to move. And then how's it, Arbot? I'm just pouring out my heart. You'll have to go back and see everything. I'm telling you what's happened now. Good to see you, our 6-star Michelin chef. We're going to move you up to a 7-star one of these days. Like the new icon, Arbot. Very neat. But yeah. So I think that's why I spoke last week to you guys, and I said to you, is it better to humble yourself and have less, but actually more, more in the fact of coming home, being able to breathe, being able to not worry about tomorrow, what's going to happen, what's going to throw at me, where's going, what have I done wrong, what haven't I done right, etc., etc. And sort of agreed. And I don't know, I was still for like, let's put everything that we can together and go back to Cambodia. That was my thing. And seems to think that we should take a look at this and give it a go. So I'm hoping that I face a better year. But the next question I have for you guys is, I have pretty much two very, very challenging, draining, absolutely fall apart months ahead of me. And I don't know if you can hang in that long or whatever, but I'd like to take probably a hiatus, if I can say so, for May and June, and not do streaming for May and June, because it's just piling on and piling on, and even this sort of like gets to me eventually, and I'm not really doing any justice to what the actual stream should be, because the stream should be an uplifting stream as such, and not a downer. And I keep on getting here, and I'm absolutely blown. Not in that way, Hendo, but yeah. But I was wondering if you guys would hang in there for 2 months and give me a chance, and if I could possibly just put the stream on hold for May and June. I finish work on the 4th of July, so my next live stream, and this is why I'm putting it out there. So like, no, we don't. You know what? You're going to lose everybody, because that's my next biggest worry is I do this and then I lose all the great and wonderful people around here, which I don't want to do. But I promise that I would be back on the 7th of July, and for July, August, I have nothing to do. July and August, basically what we will probably do for you in July and August is maybe document a trip, because we will take a look in July to go through to Nanjing to go and take a look for a place to stay. I would like to keep the WhatsApp group going. If you can keep that going, I will try and post at least once a week on the WhatsApp group on what's happening. Maybe put a photo there. I'm sure that Lynn or Debbie or somebody who sometimes throws us a WhatsApp will kick us in the ribs and go, it's about time you put something on there. And I'd like to keep it maybe going through there, that I can just, even if it's in the middle of the night, I just post something quickly and say this and this is happening. This is happening so far. I've absolutely had a failure, or I'm coping, or whatever. Maybe a photo if we do something, and then on the 7th pick up the stream again, and then in July we are hoping to take a trip through to Nanjing to go and see, to find apartments. There is a lady, the previous lady is moving with her boyfriend to Saudi Arabia, apparently. But she has a 2-bedroom apartment there. And she has a dog. And that's apparently where there's a lot of the expats in that stay. So I said maybe we could look at taking over her apartment, so it might be that easy. We just felt that we would maybe like to take a trip, and if we go on our trip in July, there will be no worries at all, because it will be finished. It will be over. I'll literally be between work. So it would be probably nice to, as Hendo says, document the trip, and I can show you where we're going, how we get lost on the trains, how we look like absolute pimples on the back of a donkey's bum traveling around the place, and maybe looking at different apartments, and I can show you that as well. And then we would like to Linda, thank you, not get rid of you so easily. And then I will put on, maybe weekly, if I suddenly do feel a Sunday that I can cope or break, but I usually end up on Sunday nights, this time I'm working, and I usually got to move my work aside to actually try and just jump on. I'm feeling absolutely terrible, try and do a stream, and then try and finish that stream. I mean, I don't know if you remember the one Sunday I actually had to cut the stream short. There was so much work coming through at that stage. So it really blows me absolutely away. So I was wondering if you guys would afford me the opportunity, and you're welcome to WhatsApp me. My WhatsApp sometimes doesn't come through immediately because of having to have a VPN type of thing on there, and it's a bit of a bugger because sometimes it takes longer for me to get it, but I will reply if you're wanting to WhatsApp directly. If you're wanting to ask any questions, I do try and keep an eye on the group as well and see what is happening. And I know Ina will probably answer on the group a little bit more. And if I do find a Sunday that I suddenly have a bit of breathing space, I will try and send out a link early enough and say, look, you know what, let's have a chat halfway through, say maybe end of June. But I know I've got 4 weeks of which is really, really challenging for me. I wake up every morning and I pray really, really hard every morning, and I get to work, and the first place I go is the toilet, and I sit on that toilet and I pray until 10 to 7 when I've got to be in the classroom, and I hope really, really to get through it as well. But Zinda, so I'm hoping it all I'm hoping it all pulls to a certain extent. It'll come through. There was something I wanted to say, but I can't remember what it was. But yeah, it's just I think we will actually get to going places, and that at the moment I just feel ill most of the time. I am walking on not even eggs, broken light bulbs, if I can put it to you that way. Thanks, Enda. No biggie. I really appreciate, guys. I really appreciate the support that's coming out here, very, very much. And I cannot express to you the gratitude. If I could put it in an expression for you, the gratitude I have from you guys, because I will be back, and hopefully I'm back and smiling and looking better, and actually putting a little bit more effort into a background and everything, and the whole stuff, and hopefully we're laughing and chatting about things again, and not complaining. And I just you know what I read? Did I hear it or did I read it last week? Anyway, I just heard it and I thought, you know what, I can't be nasty. It's just I'm not the nasty type of person. But I read something and it said, if you sit by the edge of the river long enough, the bodies of your enemies will come floating by. So hopefully I am not the person who's going to be floating by, and I can just be sitting by the river. I just got to get through these 2 months, and I don't want to face them. It's something that I just, if I could walk now, I'd walk now. But I can't. There's just no ways we can. That's the other thing. We end up with like 2 months without a salary as well, because I'll probably get paid until maybe mid-July, and then we only get paid on the 5th of October again. And so that's a bit of a catch-22. So that's another saving we've got to do. We've got to save for the relocation. We've got to save for apartment deposit. And yeah, they take 3 months rent at a time. we're going to have to, on top of the move, we've got to get a car. We can ship the dogs separately, but they say it's not a very good idea, especially at that time. It's extremely, extremely hot. And if we're going to go through, you get a car and you put the dogs with you in the car, and then you can go through. So our pups, I really don't want to put them through the trauma of going through alone and trying to catch them on the other side, etc., etc. So we've got all of that to do. But yeah, and hopefully I can actually start enjoying what I do again, and feeling confident in what I'm doing again, because you know what, the term loser comes to mind so much at this very time and moment. But we will make it. It's maybe I'll get to watch more. What's Debbie say? Chris Henda saying Chris Wyatt, Conscience, Carousel, Fatima, Abdul, etc. keeps me occupied. I do enjoy trolling the FT red Teletubbies. You know what? Maybe I'll actually get to see some news, and we can talk news again. We can try and find good news again. We can smile again. I worry because I really don't do very much to make my wife smile these days. I think my wife's trying to make me smile more these days than anything else. But that's where I'm stuck. So I couldn't say anything to anyone because I didn't know where I was going, what was happening, if I was staying, if I was going. And at one stage, I really felt that, you know what, I'm doing, but I was working myself to a standstill, and I thought, okay, well, you know what, I'm making it. Let's stay. But it might just be God's way of saying, humble yourself. You don't need to earn a great salary. You don't need to work for a great school, because the school is a great school, and they do a lot of paying, but they also do a lot of show. It's a very expensive school. Let me put it to you that way. I think it's, what did I work out the other day? It's 156,000 rand a year for primary school, and that's just your tuition. Not your meals, and they're not allowed to bring lunch to school, not your CCAs or anything to that effect. So the guys that come to that school have got pretty much a decent amount of tongue on there. And yeah, I don't know. It's very, very different to what I'm used to in Cambodia. I'm far more used to a lot of support. I was able to actually speak my mind as well, and this is what used to happen. I was allowed to put my marbles on the table, and it would be looked at and went, we can work around that one like this. We can work around that one like this. This one we can do like you want. The rest over here, that stays. You got to figure out how to work with this. And then I'd realize, okay, you know what? This and this and this wasn't an idea, but this one has got to come over. And it was sort of so it wasn't always agreed upon, but no one suddenly decided, oh, well, you know what? You're not good enough anymore. You got to go. And then sort of put you under duress. So, and then we also did a lot of supporting our teachers, where I don't feel that I got that support at the moment over here. But yeah, I think maybe it's also just the team slot that I went into, because I have another South African friend who's gone into, who also started with me, and he's 2 grades up on me, and he's doing really, really well, and he's enjoying it as well, and he's fine. So I don't know. And with the rest of the school, as I say, I have no problems at all. I get along very well. I do believe I'm a pretty positive person in general. So I get along fine with my students. I get along fine with my students' parents. So yeah, but maybe it's time for me to become more humble. Maybe I don't know, maybe life's been a bit too easy for me. Not that life has been easy, but you know what, you fight for what you want, but sometimes you've got to accept things. I'm just so afraid of going into something that is going to blast me in the same way, although this doesn't seem that way at all. So If you're wanting to see where we're going, catch a couple of YouTube videos on Nanjing. We've taken a look. There's the tower. It was a porcelain tower. It's been rebuilt in glass and everything now because it was down, and it's still called the porcelain tower. Then there's the city walls that you can go onto. Nanjing's actually a very, very big place. It's got about 10.7 million people staying in it. So it's not like we are going into a little village. But yeah, what's there was out the plaster, back on, and reaffirm daily what Buzzy's mom said. You are by far, thank you very much, you are not a loser. You see, and that's the other thing that I probably and I think Ina gets it, is that I miss from Cambodia. What's Fiona say? You'll be a lot happier and more relaxed at the new school. I'm counting on it, and I'm counting on being able to tell you a lot more stories, maybe be able to take you through there, maybe go places. We won't be able to afford to do much because we're on a very tight budget there. But I haven't had time really to have the friends that I had in Cambodia, and that's why I say I think Ina gets that, because something else I said to her today is I said, and I also say that to you guys in South Africa when we talk about leaving South Africa and things, because that also went, and that's something I mentioned in my head as well to you, is I did consider going back to South Africa. But I think that is just an impossibility. I mean, apart from the costs of getting back there, getting there and then trying to actually make a living. No, I know where I'm going. We can actually live. It's not going to be a phenomenal lifestyle, but it's not going to be a life of poverty either, as such. But so that had to go out of my head. And yeah, speak of the devil, there goes our first work thing as well again. Oh, shame. Poor little kids. They got their holiday homework that they've actually got to do a reading to me, and then they've got to send it to me on their on the messenger. They've got to do their reading through to me, and it's 10 to 9 at night, and these poor little kids are still doing homework. They get inundated with homework, yeah. But yeah, as I say, I was talking to Ina, and I think she gets it. What I miss terribly, and I miss it phenomenally, is, and I've said it to you as well from South Africa, if you're wanting to leave South Africa, is the support. Now, I didn't have a whole lot of people that were always drummed around me, but I could phone Rod on a Saturday afternoon and say, or Sunday afternoon, and say, listen, can I come over for a beer? And I would say, yeah, I'm going to have a beer with Rod. Or Rod and Sheila would say, let's go and have supper on Saturday evening, and we'd go somewhere on Saturday evening. Or we'd go to Saria Mall and go and have a coffee at Starbucks and walk through Mr. DIY. Or we'd walk through Aeon Mall. Or we'd go to a movie. Yeah, and I actually, as I said, I'm not somebody who's, and I'm sad to say, I'm not the most affectionate, going out person, whatever, etc., etc. But I am better when I'm more relaxed and happier, and we do get to do things together, which we haven't done. But I miss the support. I miss having Nielsen Ilandi around. I miss having Divan when I need to find watch a movie or chat or a bit of a game, or having Sapir if I get stuck with something and say, come and chat. Yeah. My school friends, being able to sit around with them and chat in the mornings. I mean, even as a principal, I used to go and sit by the teachers and chat with them. And you'd get good support. I mean, my teachers used to pull hard. I mean, I used to have hard times with my teachers who get upset about things, because obviously I'm not always the bringer of good news. But when I needed something done, and even if they felt resistant to it, when I looked again, they'd all clubbed together and they'd pulled and they brought that whole thing through. There was once that they were supposed to have 2 to 3 weeks to mark papers. Now, if you've ever marked a grade 12 English paper, you'll realize that there's probably 5-6 pages of writing per grade 12 paper, if not more, with the rest of the stuff in the exams that you've got to read through and specifically look for things. It doesn't happen. You need the amount of time to do it. And I said to them, well, they wanted it the Friday. And I said to the school, we'll never get it done this Friday. We'll never, but we need it done ASAP, ASAP. And the teachers were also like, I said, I need this thing done. I know I told you you've got a longer time, but I need it done now. And those teachers went home and they spent Saturday night, Sunday night. But on Monday, I had every single paper marked. They pulled through. So, you know what? That's sometimes what you're looking for. You're missing that support, not just happy to chat to you and there we go on our own type of thing. Yeah, what's Fiona say? You only need a couple of jealous people to spoil the whole experience for you. It all stems from jealousy and spirit. Thank you, Fiona. That's very kind of you. But and I miss having that. Well, I haven't had the time to actually have friends. The one South African guy, we go and have a braai with him sometimes, but we're not the like, I can phone you up and I'll see you this afternoon and this evening, on Saturday evening, we're going to have supper together, or we'll go and have a coffee there, or Ina and I can go and have a coffee here, or we'll do that, because it's just not possible. So we've had to say, we'll put our pride in our pocket, take a step down. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, this is terrible. You can't be in China and not have all of these benefits. And it's like, no, I don't have these benefits, but I'm going to take the year. And hopefully it's a year of just being able to do what I love and get back to who I was again. And long story short, Andre owes us 2 to 3 new documentaries now, including the pooch touring. Those pooches they're the only ones that keep our lives happy, really. Yeah, no, don't go back to SA. I wouldn't as well. At the moment, I did realize that. A Whoop Whoop Roll On SA Winter Special Edition for us, yeah. So, you know what, hopefully in July we will get back. And just be a little bit more positive, and if I can just get back, I will definitely communicate more. And I know I don't communicate on WhatsApp, but I will make a point of keeping you up to date there. And if I don't, I know there's a few people that will kick my butt and say, listen, you haven't put anything up on WhatsApp. I want to see what's happening, or tell us what's happening. Have you lost your mind yet? Has things gone better? Because you know what, I am once again so embarrassed when I have to say to you that this little bit of faith, when people said, you know what, if you can have the faith of a mustard seed, you've got good faith. And I went, oh, mustard seed, of course we've got more than that. And when I see of how much I've got to pray every day, and the day goes by and successfully goes by, and the doubt that I've had, and then I realize that I'm still striving to get the faith the size of a mustard seed. Yeah, no. You had more of a balanced life in Cambodia. Enjoyed Arbot's dishes a lot. Yes. Henda says, yes, SA had more family and friends. Support by the finance was pretty cock. Yes, it is. But what I'm saying is, when people think of just leaving, you've got to think of how badly your situation is where you are, where you're going to go, and what you're going to have where you're going. I mean, just moving from Cambodia to China was a huge move. In China, as I say, is a lovely place as far as I can tell, and we've lived comfortably and everything, but it's meant nothing to us because our house has been very much like a mortuary, if you know what I'm saying. I'm absolutely sick when I go to work, literally ill. I'm wanting to throw up. I can't eat. I feel like there's a coal in my stomach. You're waking up, you got to give 150% to a place that doesn't want you. You get there, you feel like a reject, you feel incompetent, you feel you don't feel confident in anything you're doing. you're so afraid to move left or right that this is wrong, that's wrong, and then there's this meeting and this more gets piled on, or this. I mean, I have about 15 groups on a different chat thing called Ding Talk over here. It's amazing. Oh, well, what do we need? Yeah. Oh, we'll just make another group. And next thing, these messages are just coming through like you'll not believe. And yeah, it's challenging. And one, as I said, the one guy said to me that I did speak to, he says, you know what? He says, after what they did to you, I just let everything go. He says, just don't care. And I can't do that. It's just not me. What's Hendo say? The thing in life, everything comes with a price. The question you keep asking yourself is, if the cost was too much. I also keep asking myself is, am I making the right decision? You know what? I sit down and I pray and I say, Lord, you know what? Is this what I am supposed to be doing? Is this what you want me to be doing? Or is this what I want me to be doing? And I'm going to make a and I have a very big disagreement with myself about whether it's what I want to do or whether what I'm supposed to do. Yeah, no. I would definitely, hopefully, we've even worked out that we should be able to, hopefully, if everything goes okay, we should maybe next February still be able to, on the El Cheapo airline, and not spending much time in Johannesburg at all, trying to get to South Africa. Although we've got our passports to renew as well. They expire in May next year, and somebody said, no, we'll come to South Africa, make an appointment and everything at the bank, because I'm at Standard Bank, make it with the bank and that. So when you get here, you go to the bank, you hand in everything, and then it'll be a week. By the time you get back again to the airport or whatever, you stay another day, you pick up everything at the bank. So they said it shouldn't take more than a week or two if you do it through the bank. Whether it's true or not, I just don't know if I'm going to take the risk, or I can go to Shanghai in around about, I don't know if I can do it in July, August, because then your passport changes and you're busy applying, and you can't actually apply with a changed passport again. So then you've got to hang in there. So, and that could take a couple of months from there. So I don't know. That's just another slice of cake that I'm going to have to worry about later on. Debbie say, very good point, and they're long overdue, methinks. What did Hinda say? When is your visiting you? You know what, Fiona, I want to get to the UK sometime. There's so much that I want to do. I've got so many friends and family, and I promise you, if I get anywhere near you, you have 2 chances of not seeing me. I will most definitely be there to make you wheelie in your wheelchair. Trust me. Whenever I get hold of somebody in a wheelchair, I wheelie them. You will be wheelied. What's it? Andre is doing online therapy today with us. Ek het moes 'n PhD online. It's for the greater good, and so yeah, it's a decision, and it's been difficult because I haven't spoken to anyone about this really, and just to Ina. So I'm talking to a lot of you guys and saying, you know what, right, wrong, what do you think? Should I, shouldn't I? I'm trying to read all the comments because I'm falling behind. I'm talking so much again. Challenge is real. You have to be careful what you pray for. Don't ask for me, give me faith, as he will show you the test. Yeah, you know what, you get it. And it works out, and then you're like, wow, it worked out today, but is it going to work out tomorrow again? And then tomorrow you pray like mad, and then it works out tomorrow, and you go, well, that was today. Is it going to work out tomorrow again? And I think you got to get to the point where you're going to realize it is going to work out. I just need to get through these 2 months, and it's like a fiery hell in front of me at the moment. What's Hendo say? Did you see the new brand pastors in SA bring back the dead on Facebook in the coffin? Did send you the face. Good grief. Family, don't wait for them. Friends may not be blood, but support more. My sister hasn't spoken to me since Jan 23. Yeah. Yes, that's sad as well. And that's why I say you just I have more support, and I look forward to chatting to you guys more, and I look for what should I say? Uh, Feedback, honest feedback, because you guys are honest. At least you know what. Sometimes it's not nice to hear it, but it's honest, and you can say what you like. You guys say it with the greatest of love in the nicest of ways. And I always say to people, I don't enjoy these Facebook pages where people say, I don't give a F what you think of me. I am what I am, so take me as I am. I do believe that it's important what you think of me. And if you don't think anything of me, I do understand that what I say with the greatest of respect. I don't not give an F. I say it with respect. I try and say it diplomatically. And I do appreciate the fact that your feedback is honest. I see Shell Oil Company wanting to abandon South Africa, BEE fallout. That's been going on. Are you on the right track and beyond happy? Ina seems happy, but then, yeah, enough time to get your passport. Yeah, a little bit. She's so awesome. She can do wheelies too. Sounds good, Fiona. No, I will be there. I have so many friends. I have like about 3 cousins there and a friend, 2 friends there, and they've all been. It's just really expensive to go to the UK. It's only you guys that live in the UK that can afford to stay there. Hey, Hendo. You UKers make lots of money there. Us cheap Chinese people, we just work hard. Life today is on borrowed time. Yeah, I keep on worrying about the future. I do have like a little policy that I started about 2 years ago, but we'd have to work for a long time before that means anything. But yeah, if we can at least be happy for that long time that we work, I would be most grateful. Choose your friends, not your family. Yeah, I agree. Diplomacy, what's that? I shoot from the hip. Hendo, don't be a freaking Facebook poster now. No, it's just people like, you know what, I don't care what you think of me. I say what I want to say. And I don't believe that people shouldn't say what they want to say. I think it's important that people say how they feel, and an opinion is an important thing. The only thing that I do feel is important is that is how they say it. That is important for me. You can disagree with what I say, or you can say, you know what, I think you're making a mistake, or I don't agree with what you're doing, or you know what, I don't agree with what you're saying, or I don't agree with what's happening, or whatever. But there's a way of saying it, and there's a way of saying it, and there's a way of being jolly rude and uneducated and undiplomatic about it, and a real hooligan. And there's a way of being very diplomatic and respectful about what you say. And I think that creates more respect for a person when you actually say something with respect and diplomacy, because the other person is more likely to take you seriously and listen. Yeah, Debs, we're getting a deduction in July for our trip. So yeah. What's Endo say? I tell the red Teletubbies online exactly what I think. Typically KP style extra voos. Yeah, well, you know that's an exception, Endo. You can do that. You can do that, buddy. You can do that any time. I will give you a free pass on that one. An absolute free pass. Debbie, it, as you say, you know what, you can't put off, and yeah, you seem to put off, and we put off, and we put off. And I think putting off, I don't think having in our hands can make up for the regret we have if we can't do what we've put off anymore. I think that's really, really important as well. I could, as I say, about 3 weeks or so ago, I went to ask, could I, you know what, if everything's fine. And then it was changed. Yeah, now everything's fine, but now there's not enough classes, which I do believe is a load of nonsense, unfortunately. But I could continue what we do now and probably be the most miserable, unhappy person for I don't know how long until something drastic does happen, and I'm really looking forward to a little bit of a breather. But I've had a nightmare of a year pass, and I know I'm not the only one, so I don't believe that you know what, oh shame, feel sorry for me, because every single person has their yoke that they carry and have to deal with it. So you know what, get up, dust yourself off and deal with it. But I do believe that we need to deal with it, and sometimes we need to stick our hand in our pride in our pocket, eat some humble pie. And that's why I was talking last week and said, you know what, is it better to have money and status, or is it better to have less but happiness? And I think we've been through pretty hard times, my wife and myself as well. We've struggled, especially in South Africa. We've struggled on bad times as well, and we've made them through too. And then we've had really good times. And I think as I say, I just want to get past these 2 months. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I ask for all prayers, whichever deity that any of you, other than God, that you pray to, whatever, maybe that'll help as well. But if you can, I will try. Probably, let's see what I don't know, what's the calendar say? Let's see what the end of take a look at the calendar, May, June. Let's see what around about the 2nd is the 2nd of June Sunday. Yeah. See what the 2nd of June says, and I might just pop on there strangely. But what I will try and do my very best is to keep you updated on the WhatsApp channel. And then, as Hendo has so dignity or respectfully and diplomatically placed me into debt of owing you a few more documentaries on where we go and what we do, and hopefully with a bit of a smile, bit of background. You know what, I haven't had time to do anything. I'd like to maybe change the intro a bit, do a little bit more chatting. Maybe I can plan a little bit more. I don't want to do I should have said, I don't want to have a written script. I never script these things. But yeah, so yeah, sorry for keeping you in the dark for so long, but I did not know what was going on. What's it? I'm an online polyglot. Ek vloek 9 tale. And what happened to the other 3? There's 11 in South Africa, bro. What made you leave Cambodia? Yeah, very good question, Fiona. That's a very, very good question. Actually, it was a friend of ours that said, no, you know what, you've got to try China. You've got to come across to China. Everything is so good there. Your packages is good. And you can. The schools do pay very well, and you get all kinds of packages and things to that effect. And I thought, well, probably it was not what I should be doing, but what I wanted to do. And sometimes we should be doing what we should be doing and what we're wanting to do. And so instead of being happy in our little villa that we had in Cambodia and everything, we decided, well, this is better. Better isn't always better. And what do they say? The grass isn't always greener. So now we've got to try and make the best of a situation that we are currently in. But I just don't want to jump into the frying pan. So hopefully this school that I go to now is, it's going to be less and it's going to be more tightening the belt, but hopefully it's going to give us a year of thought and opportunity to be able to see what is happening. Maybe Ina gets something, then we'll be okay. As I said, I just miss the friends and the support as well that I had in Cambodia. We just seemed to be a lot closer, everybody over there. I mean, it wasn't like we were together every day, but I mean, there was always somebody you picked up the phone to, or you saw somebody, or it was like, we have a beer after work, or come for supper together and stuff like that. Teflon coated Andre, streetwise, one step at a time, day by day. Thank you very much, Debbie. Support, prayer, petition, stay strong. For everything you always do, Debbie. You're an absolutely, you and your husband are phenomenal people as well. Okay, 2nd June, Andre, first documentary drops. No. It's in the middle of hell. I'm not going to make a documentary there. Hendo, you're now putting more pressure on me than what my school does. Go and work for a school in China, Hendo. I second that. Mark the calendar. No pressure. Tried the green pastures, nothing wrong. Yep. I'm working on the other 3, although my sign language better than the ANC sign language interpreter. As we all know, nothing ventured, nothing gained. I never forget that nothing is carved in stone. Yeah, you know what? We've tried it. We've been here. It is, look, China in general is a first world country. I would say still, but then again, as I said, we spent nearly 5 years in Cambodia. We've only had not even a year in China, and then not even the opportunity to explore. So I did find Cambodia more expat friendly as such in that way. Price wise, I don't know. Cambodia wasn't that expensive at all. Some people say China's a little bit cheaper, but yeah, everything's online. Yeah, I like to have a store. I mean, even when I had my computer sorted out, I took it with me in December when we went back to Cambodia and had it fixed up there, and then came back. Yeah, because I'm now looking for a computer, a laptop, because I don't want to. This is my very nice laptop, and it's a pretty big one. And it's a gaming laptop, which I haven't gamed on since we got here, I think in December, but when I was in Cambodia, but never since then again. So I'd like to get back to that as well. So I'm looking for just something small, because I've got to hand back my one that the school gave me. So I'm looking for a smallish one, but now the decision: MacBook, laptop, Windows. I sort of prefer Windows, but yeah, we've got to look for that as well. But in Cambodia, I know exactly where to go to find 7 different stores to compare. Here, I don't know where the first store is to compare. Andre, get a bicycle and travel with the dogs. Geez, if you take a look at the condition that I'm in, I need to do more than bicycle, dude. I need a total makeover. Cheap way to travel in China. Yeah, both my last 2 jobs ended badly. I love doing them anyway. Anyway, I've pushed you almost 15 minutes over the hour now as well, so I'm sure there must be some other streams that you're going into. Now that you know the whole honcho, truth and fair, as I said, I don't want to promise middle of July. Hello, John. How's it going? Always good to see you, my friend. I've just poured out all the history of what's happening, but yeah, I'm on my way out. But so good to see you on the way in. But yeah, I'll keep you guys as much updated on the WhatsApp as I can. And if I do nothing in between May and June, just know I'm trying to tread water. And hopefully, I think 7th of July should be the first one there, that we are able to probably exhale. Hopefully. You never know. What's Enda saying? My last job in South Africa enjoyed, but money was not good. Colonel Chris Wyatt just went live 15 minutes ago. Moderator work never done. Okay, let me let you go then. Thank you so very, very much, everybody, for all your support, all your understanding, all your love, all your care, all your kindness. I don't think you have a more fantastic group of people than you people out there. And I hope I'll be able to come back better, stronger, and a lot more informative than what we have, and have absolutely some fantabulous chats about maybe good movies, good places, at least a little bit of photos of me doing funny faces. And hopefully I can look a little bit better as we go along. Guys, take care, be good. And if you can't be good, be kind. Cheers, cheers.